It's time to unbox one of the hottest modern comics out and being talked about right now. Have you guessed it yet? Let's get into this. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Monday night. It's time to get into this. We are live, and let me start off by saying mistakes were made. Let me get into that as we'll say mistakes were made, and I'm going to fill you guys in why now here. But we'll have two guests coming up in a little bit here as we get further into this box of slabs, and I'll lay it right down and I'll show you. Mistakes were made. The box has already been opened. Let me tell you guys, they're a little bit of an error. If you guys have ever tried recording content with an iPhone, if you are recording content with an iPhone and somebody calls you, it stops the recording. So mistakes were made. I was all the way through this box before I realized that only the first 5 minutes actually got recorded while making content. And I kind of had heartbreak, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do this live. I opened it up already. I'm a little bit beyond that. I did peek. I did see all of the books. So you guys will get to see everything for the first time on your end as we get into these, but I did kind of spoil it for myself. But hey, we were attempting to record the content, but let me just say that there is tons of Miles Morales goodness in here and Ultimate Fallout 4 goodness for everybody to see, and I'm really excited for this box to come in because you know what? It couldn't have been a better time or a more perfect time to get this box back, as in just last night, Frankie's Comics breaks a record with an Ultimate Fallout 4 Dejurvec CGC 9.8 going live for $1 start. I mean, the pre-bids had it over 10 grand. If you guys didn't see on the channel here, we tried to clip together a little YouTube short to share that with everybody because that was absolutely insane. Let's hit up this chat, though, first real quick. We got some people coming in and hanging out live as we get rolling. And what is up, Alex Art? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. JP's Budget Collecting. What is up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say on some of this and some of these little misadventures. It's pretty fun. Steven, good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Absolutely. Comic Fanzine, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Come on, mama. What's shaking? Good to see all you guys. It was crazy, Comic Fanzine says. Absolutely. That was nuts. I think the total auction time frame was like 15 to 18 minutes. I think it was like 15-ish minutes. I had to clip 15 minutes down of live auction to 1 minute so that we could actually share that on a YouTube short. So it does look a little lopsided and a little weird, but at least kind of gets the point across of where it started, where it finished, and the fact that they got the green light at the end there. It was nuts. Do we have an update on the shipping issue? We have not. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Modern Comic Monday, we are going to be doing another. I actually have more pre-orders with them, and we'll see what happens. It could be a bit of a wait. Some of the pre-orders, I want to try two avenues of that, Stephen. I'm glad you asked. I want to do a pre-order section, and then I want to do a direct order from them. The direct order is coming up this week, and we'll get that on and going. Zuni with a little fist bump action. What is up? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. We're going to run through the chat quickly as we can. We're going to get into these books, and we're going to invite two guests in here in about 20-25 minutes because they played a special role in this as well. No saga tonight. No saga tonight. No, but guess what? We do have our next package going out to CGC already on the way with the Saga Turkish variants, and I'm excited for that. The Comic Vet brother, what is up? Good to see you, man. It did feel like forever. Did you like the cover art for Joker 9? I did actually, with the connecting cover. Absolutely. Michael, or no, Susan Glant, what is up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I thought there was an error on the number, Mama said. Error on the number. Error on the number. Let me know. No. Come on, Mama. That was not an error on that auction. That auction started for $1, but people pre-bid on the Dejurvec 9.8. Before it even went live, it was already over 10 grand on pre-bids. And then at the tail end of the auction, they crested $30,000. And the sale completed. So D-Runk Comics, if you guys don't know D-Runk, you need to subscribe to D-Runk Comics and tune into his 9 p.m. CGC unboxing tonight as well. That's why we're going to try to wrap this up at about 9 o'clock. Head over and support D-Runk Comics and support Comigories tonight as well. Lots of great content tonight on YouTube. House of L Comics, Don, what is up? Good to see you, man. Wow, coincidence. I just got my CGC. Dude, Cantankerous. Unbox it live on YouTube, man. It was like 10 minutes to wait for the payment to clear. Yeah, which is why, the entire auction from start to actually greenlit on the financial side of things was like 15 minutes. So I edited that part in there so that you can hear him say, oh, yep, it went green, it passed, it cleared, because I knew that people would be asking about that. There's already comments in that YouTube short or in the IG reel stating that the payment may have not cleared, or there's lots of comments, but I just posted what we actually saw live, which is factual, and it all went through. So it's good to hear for them. Give us a comb through. Oh, he wants a comb through. We got a good comic vet comb through. There you go. Rob's Fat Stack of Comics. What is up, Slappy? If you guys don't know Rob's Fat Stack of Comics, you need to subscribe to Rob, because we are going live. Is it this weekend? No. Yeah. No, it's in 2 more weekends. We're going live with Slab Hub for Rob's Fat Stack of Comics show on that Saturday. I'm looking forward to that as well. It was absolutely insane. Michael, that was actually not my sale. That was Frankie's comics sale. We just recorded it and kind of reported on it, so to speak, if you will. What are you picking up for comics this week? I don't even know. It sounds like Diamond is sending out notifications to all the retailers that shipments are being delayed by 48 hours or up to 48 hours. So it's going to be a crazy week. Must have sent that 125 Vader 3 to get graded. Yes. Keen eyes that 1 in 23 or 1 in 23, 1 in 25 Vader did go out. No categories tonight. So make sure you guys follow D-Runk Comics and watch his unboxing slab-barama tonight. Holy moly. What's up, D-Runk? Yes. Oh, thanks, brother. Yes, we will be there. Shout out to my fingers. I can't count on all of them. Oh, you can count. Oh, my Lord. That's true. People can be jealous. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get through the weeds to find out who's saying what for why for any reason, but I just wanted to post what happened on screen, what we saw is factually happening live, and I had to edit it down to 60 seconds. 60 seconds is the max for YouTube Shorts and for IG Reels, and the TikTok video I actually made a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. But Comigories canceled tonight when they saw it was going live. They couldn't handle the viewership drop. Man, oh man, I know what that is. There's D-Runk Comics link. So let's, without further ado, get into these first couple of slabs so that we can, I have these in order. So about the time that the guests are showing up, we should be pulling out the 2 big books, so to speak. Jeff Schultz, what's up? One love from Chicago. Good to see you. You are right in time. You and Austin are just in time. I got fired from a canned juice company. Apparently I couldn't concentrate. Jesus. God, that's good. What do you think about Newburn? I think Newburn is one of those books that's going to read better in a trade paperback or a hardback format. I have a hard time keeping up with it month to month. It's really meaty. There's a lot of layers there. But let's get slab time. Let's get into these real quick. There, if you know me, you know that there's some Star Wars love going on in here as well. So first up, without further ado, because I've already messed up the bags a little bit, but we have ourselves. I found a handful of copies of Miles Morales Spider-Man, the Halloween Comic Fest, right? I think this is an incredibly undervalued issue. I've been finding these. You would tell me Uncle Skeff found a stack of these for $2 a piece at one convention. I was so upset that I missed out on that. But I did find a stack of 10 or 12 copies at some LCSs around. I found a handful, and I'm like, this is really cheap, just over cover price. Thank you, Andrew, for hooking me up with a deal on these. And I was chasing a 9.8 for the collection. Hot Zone Comics, good to see you, man. Josh, good to see you as well. The first book up and the first grade for the Comic Fest Halloween. And I already know what it is. And voila, 9.8. I feel like if you're finding this book for $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, anything under $10, and you've got that 9.8i. If you're finding this book for under $10, you've got that 9.8i, it might be worth considering grading these. It might be. I'm not saying it. I wanted to grade these. But let's be real. I paid $8. It was $33 to fast track the book. So we're already at $41. Uh-oh, Andy. Haha. And then you factor in shipping to and from and pressing and cleaning. I'm at $50 into this in cost, roughly. Last sale on GPA was $38. So you can go out and buy these in a 9.8 for cheaper than what I paid. I press and clean everything. I don't want to leave money on the table. So I would suggest if you're looking for a copy, look for one on eBay. Try to get it sub $40. Anything in that $50 range or higher, then you might be able to do it on your own and have fun with the process. Either way, I feel like this is still incredibly undervalued when you're hearing that the Djurvec 9.8 is going live on Whatnot and closing for over $30,000. And then you get copy A's that are closing 3,300 or higher in 9.8, mind you. I feel like a lot of these other printings and variants are a little undervalued. Maybe people aren't aware of them yet. I don't know. But, oh, Andy, what'd you do with your stand here? We'll throw some stands up here and kind of share some of the books as we go along without too much. Oh, my God. Yes, Andy's got to figure out his lighting situation. But next book up, 22 people watching live. Thank you so much. We're already 10 minutes in. You guys wonder why I talk so fast, is to try to get through everything so that you guys aren't left hanging or waiting. And I definitely want to hang out with the chat. So the second book up is, you guessed it, we sent an additional copy, and you guessed it, we got another 9.8. So 2 for 2. Success there. When we were chasing a 9.8, we definitely made that happen. So pretty happy with that. Like we said, I mean, I actually paid more to do it myself than I did if I would have gone on eBay. That being said, I don't know if there's any $36 or $37 or $38 copies left on eBay. If you find them sub 40, if you find them sub 40 on eBay, it might be worth it. But you got to remember, some people charge $15 to ship a slab, one single slab. Well, and you're already $45, $50. So that little reminder of myself makes me feel a little bit better than, trying to just go out and buy one. So what's up next? That's right, more Miles Morales Ultimate Fallout action, because where's my buddy Dennis Barter of Wonder World Comics, who did this fantastic Djurvek Virgin variant. This is the facsimile Virgin variant. So facsimile, remember they released the facsimile not too long ago, and that had variants to the facsimile, and it was crazy to try to keep up tabs with. But this is the Monday's gonna Monday real hard. This is the Djurvek Virgin variant of the facsimile. And what did we get? We went for some 9.8 love on this. Now this is super pretty. This is the original art. Well, if I remember correctly, Wonder World Comics and Sailfish Comics got approval to do the original art in a Virgin variant. So it's not like, I know that there's another kind of Virgin variant version of this, if you will, but the art is slightly changed. If I remember correctly, this is the original art. That's why everybody's looking for the Wonder World Comics version and the Sailfish Comics version. This is the original art with the trade dress removed. So it's a Virgin. So 9.8 glory. Yes, absolutely. The comic vet. 9.8. So this was, I'm going to talk money a little bit too as we go on this, because I feel like you guys are interested in that. Tell me in the live chat or in the comments down below, are you guys interested in hearing a little bit more of the financial side of what goes on with sourcing some of these books out and getting them graded? Because that would look good with the custom label, except when you do it on, I couldn't find the custom label, and apparently you can actually request it, but if you try to do it on the website, it doesn't pop up. My bad. I wish I would have gotten the custom label. These copies went for, because I say plural because there's multiple. I got a 9.6 UF4 1/25. Oh my God. Armando, yes, you got to take a look at that and keep an eye on that book. 9.6 Ultimate Fallout 4. I don't know if they're going for 15K. They could be going for more. We'll pull up GPA and we'll go over some numbers. Armando, if you want to hang out here, I'll actually look at those sales numbers too recently. But yes, I said copies plural, and there it is. I already bounced it off the screen there. We did send in 2. We did get 9.8. So you guys know, buy one, stash one kind of theory that a lot of people talk about, especially when I was a kid in the 90s. I would buy 2 copies, one to read, one to stash. Well, I'm applying that theory a lot of times when I send books into CGC. I would rather get 2 9.6s back and know that I at least tried than to send in one book and get a 9.6 and then realize I could have tried. It's just numbers, right? It's just, I'm kind of playing a shell game with money, so to speak, kind of fiddling things around. But when you talk about money, these were $50 a copy right out of the gate when you not pre-ordered, but yeah, it was kind of, I don't remember if they allowed pre-order on those, but those raw were $50 a copy from Sailfish Comics and Wonder World Comics. So then you factor in the $33 fast track, factor in $12 pressing and cleaning. It's not a cheap 9.8 right now that I have into that, but we have a completed 9.8 for the collection. Hot Zone says he's got a 9.2 Djurvek. Holy moly, that is epic. So what is up next? Ooh, we can't get into this one just yet until our guests are here, and we're already moving. All right. We've got a couple more books. And what we're going to do, our guests will be here in about 10 minutes or so. But yes, next up, you guys know. Nope, not that one. I always send out 10 or so books. Flash by Nights Comics, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You guys know I always tend to add a little bit of Star Wars love when I send out CGC boxes because of the simple fact that I'm a big Star Wars fan. And there we go. We're down to those two books there that I want to wait till the guests are here. But next up right now, we have from Uncle Skeff himself on his Whatnot auction. We decided to pick this up, and it was because it's a newsstand and because we don't have a copy of this at all in the collection. Skeff and I went back and forth quite a bit as we talked on the via text message and instant messenger, trying to dial in what we felt like the grade was going to be. Both of us felt really comfortable about like an 8.0, and I was hoping we could get this to an 8.5. CGC, on the other hand, did not agree. This one needs to get cracked, pressed, and resubmitted because the grader's notes on this say the same. It says light creases to cover, light crease, like it needs to get pressed again, and I think it could do a little bit better. I knew we both knew it wasn't going to be white pages. We knew it was going to be off white pages, but this is the first Mandalore, if I remember correctly, and that's a book that's been kind of people haven't really been talking about a lot until the last year or so. And I didn't have a copy. I waited too long, so I at least shot for a raw copy from Uncle Skeff and got this sent out. And I'm happy with having a decent high grade of this book, knowing that hey, 1983, 83. We're coming up on a 40-year-old. This is coming up on 40 years already. So this is a 7, 8, 9. I'm high grade, right? But still, you need a new presser. Then Philip Chung said, "I know the presser. I know the presser very well, and we will talk to him about this." I don't think it's something the presser did. I think what's happening is that a lot of people are running into this is when books get pressed and they get packed and they get shipped, they sit in some dank warehouse forever before they get unboxed. This was a fast track submission that was sent. Oh God, if you savvy social media-ites out there, follow me on Instagram, you'll see the last time that I posted about sending a shipment out to CGC. This was like a 3-month turnaround time, but CGC graded it in 2 weeks. So that means it sat at CGC for months before they opened it, roughly. I'm paraphrasing heavily. But still, I think we're running into the same thing that a lot of other people are running into when a book gets pressed and a book gets clean. I don't think the boxes down at CGC are sitting in a very ideal climate while they wait to be opened up because they're not watertight. They're not moisture proof, right? That being said, I know that the presser did a really good job with this, and the book is really clean. I'm actually like, they hit it really hard too for back here, right there. There's one tiny little stain on there that's not going to come out. They smacked this thing really hard for that one tiny little stain. I'm just happy to have a copy for the collection. See if we can upgrade that book or if we can eventually roll ourselves in the old, you guys know, making the collection work for itself, try to upgrade from the other books. That being said, the next book up is one of my favorites to send, and I don't stop sending stop sending comics or copies. I don't stop sending copies. And Daywalker came in at just a perfect time here. We got ourselves another Darth Vader #3, first appearance of Dr. Aphra and BT and 000. And you guys know why I love chasing this book, right? Because we love getting 9/8 copies of this back. Because everybody that collects Star Wars books or is a big Star Wars fan knows that these Marvel copies have issues with color rub on the back near the staples and kind of trailing down here. And it's getting harder and harder and harder to find like really serious 9/8 contenders in raw. Like if you go to a convention and you go to a lot of other places and you see a copy just sitting on a shelf, most of the books that are in really crispy high grade have been out and sent for grading, unless it's an individual keeping it for their collection for reading purposes, which more than likely you wouldn't see that at a convention. You wouldn't see that anywhere but their collection at their house. So when you're finding copies of Darth Vader 3 raw in the wild, it's getting tougher to find books that are going to make 9/8. You guys saw my last CGC unboxing, right? If you didn't, catch my last CGC unboxing on the channel here where we unboxed, I think it was like 3. No, we did that CGC unboxing live on Whatnot and put the books on the auction block right from there. I forgot that I didn't record that. We unboxed 3 copies of Darth Vader 3, the first Aphra. Right out of that, 2 of them were 9/6, 1/9/4, and 1/9/8. So it's getting to be a little bit of a tough crapshoot, almost like a 50% crapshoot when it comes to. I know when I'm sending these in, like I kind of have an idea of what I don't want to see on them. But I'm at the point where if I do see some of that stuff, I'm sending them anyways. Dr. Aphra is like one of the my opinion, one of the hottest characters that we have not seen on screen anywhere in the Star Wars universe. Having to add another 9/8. I don't even know where we're at on the 9/8s. I know we ended up letting go of our 4th print 9/6 in an attempt to try to climb our way to a 9/8 on the 4th print. Asking prices on the 4th print are still nuts. The 2nd print in the 9/8 still seems affordable. Look for a dip in this book over the next year, though. Look for this book to dip in the next year. We're not going to see Dr. Aphra on screen anytime soon. In my opinion, in my honest opinion, it's going to be quite a while. It's not going to be on Obi-Wan. If she shows up on Obi-Wan and I got to eat a sock or something, or I got to do something silly, I will. But I really don't feel like they've had time to write her in properly yet. But man, oh man, if she does show up, look for a dip. I'm planning on looking for this book to dip in the next year. I think you should too, as a collector. The book did see some price increases just recently. Again, renewed Star Wars interest and some other speculation. But look for that book to dip. That means the next 2 books up. And I'm moving so fast that we're going to have to ramble a little bit while we wait on our 2 guests tonight. But when it comes to Star Wars books, I feel like this is a book that's kind of underappreciated or not known about. A lot of people didn't like the Sprouse variants when they first came out. They didn't like the gold border. I, for one, became an instant fan thinking that this was going to look really good in a slab. And this is cover appearances of Ahsoka and Anakin together are few and far between. In fact, so few and far between on cover appearances together. I think the incentive copy of Clone Wars 1 is the only one off the top of my head that I can think of that has both Ahsoka and I almost said something else. Ahsoka and Anakin. I can't. Maybe you guys in the chat can help me out if you know something right off the top of your head. But I, for the life of me, right off my head, cannot think of other just covers of just her and him. So it seemed like a really good idea to send some of these out and chase a 9/8. And we got ourselves a 9/8 for the collection. And this was a hurdle to climb. These modern Star Wars books coming out, almost all of them have wear on the spine that is crappy. Penguin's giving those books a run for their money, trying to ship out like they're damaging them. These Sprouse variants have very delicate covers. All the Star Wars books have very delicate covers on them, and the spines usually get rubbed up pretty good. You usually get some dings up in the top and on the bottom, up in the bottom, and generally you almost always find some spine creases that don't break color, brand new out of the box. Brand new out of the box. So this was actually probably one of the tougher 9/8s to get out of this submission, in my opinion, right here. Happy to add that to the collection because we are huge Ahsoka fans, and I love the purple in the background of this. And it's Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #5. Not necessarily a key issue. It's just the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary variant cover. So it's just a great cover to have for a Star Wars collector, in my opinion. But there it is. And you know me. Yes, we did send out a second copy. And yes, that second copy did make 9/8. I was stupid excited that both of these made 9/8. So bingo. Yes, absolutely. Daywalker. There it is. We're rolling into the UF4 books next. We're not going to wait on the guests because we're going to take time to do the UF4s. That'll give me a chance to chatter a little bit about those UF4 books. And then we'll invite the guests in. But you guys know I got to throw some, that does frame well. Yes, it does, Jeff. I do like that quite a bit. Setting that aside. So we have gone, oh my God, we've gone almost all 9/8s, except for the one Star Wars 68 that made a 7/0. We have yet to go a full run of 9/8 books in over a year, actually. And I get it. That's part of the process of, part of the reason why I like sending books out to get graded is I'm also learning how to grade books better. But next up right here, some good grades right here. Come on, mama. We've got some even more good grades coming up as we remove the plastic, because we're going to roll in these 2 books right now. And I'm going to talk about this one next up right here. Ultimate Fallout 4 second print. Now, I feel like this one we got at a killer deal from Wink Inc. on one of his Whatnot auctions not too long ago, actually. And Wink said, Andy, man, the book is crispy, but we can't guarantee anything, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You can't guarantee it. I'm like, plus there's shipping in between here and there. Who knows what's going to happen? I got it for a killer deal. I think we had 200 into this. onto the Whatnot auction. And it came back in high grade. And what do you guys think it came back? It came back a 9/6 white pages, so I'm super happy with that on the second print. Excuse me. That, no joke, Wink Inc. I told Wink, I'm like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I feel really comfortable about this coming back at least a 9/6. At least a 9/6. And I'd have to look it over really good to see what kept it from getting to be a 9.8 because it was a really clean copy. 9.6s, in fact, let's get into this while we ramble just for a moment and hang out until a guest get here. The 9.6 second print. We've got the first print coming up next. I think we are actually over by we're in the green on this. If it would load a little bit faster, but Skeff Curse. No, it's not a Skeff Curse. It's just this is a tough book in high grade. It really is. Ultimate Fallout 4. You got to think about the first print being polybagged and having polybag indentations. You got to think about the second print. The cover material they're using isn't much better than what we're seeing on the Star Wars books. In fact, yeah, not much better at all. So 9.6 second print last sale on GPA was $277 March 2022. Now, originally, some time ago, this had crested over 300. So based on grading fees, pressing and cleaning fees, shipping fees, and all that other jazz, let's just say we had about 250 into it. We're doing okay. Not a lot of equity left in the book, depending on what happens with it going forward. I don't foresee Miles slowing down. I don't foresee Miles slowing down at all. I really don't, which is why when we find copies that we feel like are like at market value that we can get graded and come in a specific grade that we think it's going to hit and if we think that when it comes to the actual sales numbers we can get there, I feel like this book still, I feel like this and the first printing still have forward movement going on down the line. So yeah, actually March 26th the copy closed for 300. Then somebody got one for 277. A couple of 225s, a couple of 224s, but the book's been hovering between 250 and 300 in a 9.6. So in my opinion, I think we did really well. I mean, we might not be massive amounts of equity in this, but when we're holding this book for the personal collection, we didn't have a second print. We're holding this for the personal collection. I feel like this has room to grow, and I want to thank Wink Inc. for stellar packaging, for an awesome time on Whatnot, for picking this book up. And I'm going to roll right into the first print UF4 next. That's the big one. That's the big one that we were really keen in on, and we really kind of went hard to the paint because it was a good looking book, really good looking book. And my favorite part, we'll just yeet not too hard. We want to save all that packaging right there. But next up is the first print, Ultimate Fallout 4, and we also picked this up from Whatnot. The Ninth Wonder put this book up for $1 start. $1 start. And we went hard to the paint. I was asking questions. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, you guys know, nobody's going to want to sit there and nobody's going to sit there and promise. Anybody sitting there promising that an Ultimate Fallout 4 is going to come back a 9.8 on a live auction, just get out of there and don't bid on the book. Just get out of there and don't bid on the book, because the book's polybagged. The book was polybagged. There's indentation crease issues on a lot of them. And we'll just cut right to the chase and say, it came back a 9.2. And you want to know what the grader's note says? Polybag indentation. That's it. Polybag indentation. That's it. Sharp corners, sharp spine, sharp looking book. I feel like the graders are hitting this really hard for the polybag indentations. And I tell you what, you want to know why? Because here it is. You're gonna see a little bit of double here. We actually found a copy at a local show. It was also a 9.2, and the only thing it said on the grader's notes was light polybag indentation or crease or whatever terminology they use. Let's see if we can capture it on camera. It's pretty easy to see with the human eye, and I don't know if we're going to get it, but we're going to try here for a hot minute because it's easier to see down in the black. There it is. See it? See the Marvel? See how look at the Marvel A. See the Marvel A crease just a little bit? All that is it stretches down the whole back of the book. And that's where they sealed the polybag during production. And I feel like as a collector, we need to be paying more attention to 9.0s and 9.2s and 9.4s and checking graders notes and keeping an eye on what you can potentially do. Either way, we've got two copies that are going to be going. This one's going to go back out to be redone. And then this one also from the convention is going to be going out to get pressed and clean. We're going to see what we can do to bump these books. But, you know, because this little guy over here, this little guy right here, he's getting kind of lonely. Want to thank you, Adam, Strange Tales to Collect, for selling this to us several years ago. I remember Baltimore 2019. I was talking to Adam on the phone, good buddy of mine, Strange Tales to Collect. Make sure you follow him on YouTube and on whatnot. Great friend of mine. Talking to him on the phone as I'm driving to Baltimore. And you guys know that when I go to Baltimore, it's a 10, 11, 12-hour trip. And he's like, you know what? I got a couple of copies out for grading. Would you be interested in one? And I'm like, yeah. So I sent him a down payment, and we agreed to. I agreed to close out with him when the books came back, just in case. And this is the only 9/8 that I have ever held in my hands of this book. I'm happy to keep this in the PC, but obviously, if we can do it affordably, we're going to see if we can get some bumps on some other books and maybe try to. I really don't think that anything that's sitting at a 9092 is going to bump all the way to 9/8, but I feel like those books are, these 9/2s are so crispy and clean looking. These look as good, if not better, than some 9/6s. I think they're just getting hit really hard for the polybag indentation on the back. I don't know. Things are super, super sharp. Those are the books. The guests should be popping in here any minute. If they aren't, we're just going to keep rambling, and we'll go over the books one more time. It's time to hit up the chat now. Slim Comics, what is up? Will the polybag creases press out? Yes, people have been successful in doing that. In fact, Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, if you guys remember on the channel about a year and a half ago when we sent those foreign sagas, the Mexican saga variants, those had wicked polybag indentations on the back, and they were cardstock covers. Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, it took several weeks of work and several pressings, but he was able to get all of those books, all 4 copies, to 9/8. Yeah, you can get them out, but you got to know what you're doing. 2, you got to have the right tools. 3, you just have to have some patience too. And you got to have somebody that's willing to be like, hey, keep trying and let me know what the bill is later, so to speak. Speaking of 9/8s, Reggie's got a great video that's dropping today. Are we obsessed with 9/8s? Yes, Reggie, if you ever watch this on the replay, I'm obsessed with 9/8s. I mean, granted, like when I'm talking modern comics and chasing modern comics, I'm obsessed with 9/8s. I want to go back and watch Reggie's show. We're going to hit up this chat real quick while we wait for the guest to show up, and then we'll go over the books again one more time here. Don't forget, D-Runk Comics is going live with his CGC unboxing in 28 minutes. Hot Zone says he's got a 9.2, and he's referring to the Dejurvec 9, the Dejurvec 9.2. He's referring to that Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25. Hold on to that, keeper. At that point, I'd be getting a magnifying glass out and looking at that and seeing if there was a possibility of bumping that. You know what I mean? Because that, you're talking thousands of dollars worth of increases at that point at these prices. Bangers Comic Vet says absolutely. Been craving Detroit pizza. Yeah, same. We're doing that keto kickoff again now that the holiday season's been over, Andy. Stop making excuses about that. But it's time to it's time to keep working on that whole keto avenue. Blue pan, squared, cheesy, and meaty goodness. Oh, Flash by Night. What is up? Sailfish also had that in store. There you go, right there. Yes, Sailfish and Wonder World Comics. Absolutely. Uncle Skeff for the win. CGC with the L. Need a new presser. Hey, I think there's a couple of things that could be happening. I think the climate control of where books are being stored is something to probably look into. Once you get a book graded and encapsulated, you're good, right? It's sealed. But while those books are sitting there waiting to be graded, we need to be looking into that a little bit. I mean, seriously, I'm not the only one that sent stuff out and is like, wait a second, that wasn't there when I sent the book out. Why is it all wavy now? Yeah, it's a thing in the community that people talk about. It's just not, something we, go ranting and raving about. It's just something that comes up when you're talking about CGC books, when you're unboxing. D-Bronx says, I'm from 1983. I'm not even a 7.0. Oh, boy. Off-white pages, D-Runk, yes. Mojo Quid, what is up? Thanks for being here. Good to see you guys. Mojo Quid, it has been a hot minute. I appreciate having you in here. Dave Walker's here as well. Vader 3, Steven, I'm with you, man. Vader 3 is one of my favorite books to collect and to get graded. Claim he wins. He says, that stain makes it likely it won't bump with the press. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, JP. I know my brain instantly goes to CPR and some stuff, but stains, stains kind of, I still need to get one of those. Yeah, that Star Wars 68. I overlooked 68 chasing issue 42 for quite a long while, and I should not have. Congratulations on the 9/8. Yeah, there were a chunk of those. For a 10-book submission, 7 of those came back 9/8, one 7.0, one 9.6, and one 9.2. It's not bad. That's not bad. 70% return rate for 9/8. So, what that tells me is that even if I'm not improving leaps and bounds in my grading ability, I'm at least staying consistent. And consistency is a good thing, especially when you're grading comic books. You have a copy of Vader 3, but no way is it a 9/8. Yeah, a lot of them out there aren't. Yeah, what's happening, my fellow collector? Good to see you. So, Armando, actually, that I'm glad you're still here. Armando, are you still in the chat, buddy? Speak up, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that information for you on that variant. In Armando, did you say you had a 9.2 or no? He said Armando said he had a 9.6. Where are you at, man? You still here? We're gonna pull that 9.6 variant edition information. And okay, so this could be a buying opportunity. So we're looking at that right now, and I will actually bring you guys along right now. Let me shuffle some stuff around right here. And this is why I love doing live streams on Monday night. We're going to share screen and make sure that there's nothing crazy on here. Here you go, real quick. We'll share it just for a minute. This is a paid service, so I don't want to do them wrong and dirty by sharing everything, but just for the sake of talking about this one specific book for Armando, I'll share this here real quick. But GPA, once again, is a paid service, much like a lot of the other ones. So last sale of a 9.6 variant edition was $8,000. This might be a buying opportunity because we oftentimes talk about 9.8s, whatever price they reach. 9.6s are generally like halvesies, right? So yeah, that's where Armando was thinking like 15K. Well, last sale was this month at $8,000. So if you're sitting on a crap ton of money, you might have yourself a good buying opportunity if you want to take the risk and dive into a 9.6. So let's not forget, Reggie did that video talk about, are we obsessed with 9.8s? Yes, I'm obsessed with 9.8s. That's why I'm taking a much stronger look at 9.6s, 9.4s, 9.2s, 9.0s. That anything 9.0 or above, I'm taking a much stronger look at because one, we're seeing paper quality issues. Two, we're seeing tons of paper shortages. So what we are getting is what we're getting, and things aren't going to get better. That last 10 or 15 years of nothing but 9.8s or chasing high grades was a fun ride for me. But I got to rethink what I'm doing as a collector and consider the fact that the new high grade that we're going to see going forward in the future might not be the high grade that we've been used to. So let me get back in this as we scroll down. The guests may have been tied up. We're going to end this at 9 o'clock, though, and head over to D-Runks. Yes, hello. Hey to everyone. Kenneth Bird, what is up, man? Daywalker, yes, saying hi to everybody. That does frame well, referring to the Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunter number 5, that Sprouse Lucasfilm variant. Some good grades there. Yeah, working hard to get those high grade books for the collection. Those Sprouse variants had me purchasing Star Wars again. Yeah, a lot of people didn't, like we said, a lot of people didn't like the Sprouse variants at first. I, for one, like Josh, have been a fan. And I wish I would have bought all of them and more so. I got a good chunk of the collection. I think 80% of the Sprouse variants we have. But then lo and behold, watch what they dropped. They dropped that first cover appearance, first standard comic book cover appearance, The Mandalorian and Grogu, Din Djarin and Grogu. And then they did a second print of that as well. So they're dropping, they're paying attention to what's going on, what people are doing. How many Mandalorian comics do you guys pre-order? I did one set, one full. Oh, Steve, I'm glad you asked that. Because we talked about Things from Another World and pre-ordering and shipping from them. I ordered a set of the Mandalorian books, one full set of everything pre-ordered from Things from Another World. And we're going to do a whole show on that and see how that goes. But I've got everything coming from the LCS too for the personal collection for reading and potentially grading for my LCS. That's going. But Things from Another World, let's probably imagine that those are just going to get damaged anyways. We'll see. You need the second print. Got the white one. Yes, referring to, if I remember correctly, the white one. Oh, let me think about that for a second. Armando, you're looking for that second. Oh, you're looking for the second print Ultimate Fallout 4. Yeah, grab those while they're affordable now, man. Or look for a dip. It's great for the PC. Absolutely. $1. You missed out, Josh. So they started it at $1 and then put the auction up and let it sit for a week, I think, or close to 3 or 4 or 5 days or something like that. By the time they actually started the auction, though, pre-bid action was over $10,000. Over $10,000 for pre-bid action before the auction even started. So that was pretty crazy. So Andy, that 125 Virgin book you have in the back, is that a $30,000 book now, or does it have to be the trade dress? That's a facsimile reprint. So once again, this is why we're really careful about when we send books out to make sure that we're getting the right book graded correctly, because the Ultimate Fallout 4 is seeing facsimile variant or facsimile copies out there accidentally being graded as cover A first prints. So that's why when I sent these in, I wanted to make sure I waited to send these in until I saw that they had it on the log there. When you go to click the book, as you can see right on the top, it says Ultimate Fallout Facsimile Edition number 4, and it's the variant edition. I know it's not focusing super well, so much glare, but you guys can read that pretty clearly. That's labeled correctly, and there are copies of the cover A facsimile reprint that were accidentally graded as first prints. So we're definitely doing due diligence to make sure that those are actually getting labeled correctly. Yes, polybags are a menace. Yes, everybody's like, I'll think about all the books in the 90s that people are like, oh, leave it in the polybag so it's all original. Pull that crap out of the polybags. Those polybags are deteriorating and ruining those books. Get rid of polybags, 100%. All for one, all one for what are the Three Musketeers of that? You love a 9.2. Call me weird, but I do. I like linear grades. When you start collecting books, you want to get all of them in 9.2s or all of them in 9.4s. That's kind of where I'm at with that. The polybag indentations are stinky butt. Yeah, and you could, it's hard to show on camera, but I think you guys could see pretty well by that Marvel logo, and it stretches the whole back. We're sending a 9.2 with a bad press back as well, Hot Zone says. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad press at all by any means. And I know the grader quite well. And many of you in the community know this grader. I didn't label it. I didn't want anybody to think that this grading that this presser did was subpar by any means, because that is not the case. I think, but once the grader shipped the books out and they were received, that's when the grader and I lost control of the condition of the books, where they're being kept, how they're being kept. I'm sure that box and that package just sat somewhere and it wasn't in optimal conditions. And I think that may have been part of the issue, in my opinion. Now, it's not factual. It's just speculation. It's just hypothetical. But I would really like to see the grading companies for cards, for comic books, for anybody bust out on social media and take a picture and be loud and be proud about where they store everybody's stuff while they're waiting. No, we're not talking 100,000. We're not talking $100 million humidity control facility. We're talking something high. We're talking something dry. We're talking something neat. We're talking something clean, where the employees are really proud about what they're doing and things are looking really good. And that's just going to pay off in dividends. People could see that. If people could see how neatly kept those packages while they were waiting in the queue, and we all know Florida is terribly humid all the time. If there was a way to control that a little bit better and people could see that, think about what that would do for publicity, for people wanting to buy in on the services for that grading company. Just think about that. That carries some weight, right? That's an avenue of customer service. That's a facet of customer service that we don't really think about. You know what I mean? They're not going to be 100% transparent on their grading process, but when it comes to some of the things like storage and it comes to processing, like prep, maybe there could be a little bit more transparency, but not 100%, right? Either way, tough to even press those out if they're bad. Yeah, talk to Jimmy, the Geek Aficionado. JP, you remember when we did those Mexican variants of Saga, and those polybag creases were nasty, like Grand Cavern nasty. That was terrible. With all those polybag creases press out, we're going to try Slim Comics. What is it up, man? We're going to do one quick through of these books after we get caught up in the chat for anybody just showing up. Nerdy Couch, we're seeing some more people showing up in the chat. So yeah, we're going to go through the books again one more time once we get caught up in the chat, and we'll head out and we'll head over to D-Runk Comics CGC unboxing next. Never mind, JP already answered. The 9.8 Ultimate Fallout, the facsimiles, and this is the facsimile Virgin variant. There you go. Mint Hunter had a good video with Bronze and Modern Gods about the UF4 polybag creases. Yeah, I actually got to go find that and watch that. That was probably a lot more detailed than what I provide on here, and I'm working to be more educational in the process of talking about comic books. But we're on this comic book collecting adventure and journey. Appreciate each and every one of you being here and subscribing. You get a lot of 9.6s for your PC. I'm right there with you, Hot Zone. I mean, I had this ultimate fantasy 20 years ago when CGC first came out and they first started grading books that I was going to collect an entire run of Punisher Volume 2, 1 to 104, and the annuals, and collect it all in 9.8. And you want to know what? It's been 20 years. I'm not even 80% of the way done yet, because those books are getting so incredibly tough to find in high grade. And when 9.8 candidates do hit the census, or there are 9.8 candidates on the census, or they're 9.8 on the census, there's 3 copies and somebody sees it, they want $500 or $600 or $700 for that book. No. I love my Punisher collection, but not not to the point where I'm willing to pay $500 to $800 for a 9.8 non-key book. That's just rarity doesn't always equate value. I mean, we can price anything, whatever we want. But John's Comics with Kids, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Slim Comics saying hi to John. Why are piggy banks so wise? They're filled with common sense. That is true until you bust them open and take it all out. The issue I've had with pressing is if the books sit at CGC for a year, will the pressing be? That's what we're talking about here, John. Because where did she go over here? This is nope. That's the other one. This is the one we just had recently graded because it's got a 4 in front of it. This the Ninth Wonder and I both felt like this book should be pushing between 9.4 and 9.6, and it came back in 9.2, and the only grader's notes had that it was the polybag indentation on the back. Well, this book didn't go to this. I didn't press this book with my weekend $100 t-shirt press. This went to a professional that does serious work. I mean, we're talking, yeah, like it went to a pro. That's all I'm gonna say. And unfortunately, the box sat exactly like John's saying. If the book sit for CGC for a year, it sat for several months at CGC. They opened it, they charged my credit card, and a week and a half later, almost 2 weeks later, the books were at my doorstep. So they technically fast-tracked the books in 2 weeks. I only paid for fast tracking, but they didn't open the box for 2.5 months. That's kind of the quality control error issue that happens. I don't know how I'm gonna get it. Don't know how I'm gonna get around that unless they start processing the. Remember when they process the boxes correctly for a hot minute there, and things were moving really quick, and we got like that whole box of fast track books back in like 30 days from shipping out to receiving back. That's what we got to get back to. So I don't feel like the Ninth Wonder and I still feel like this book is better than a 9.2 once it's actually handled, if you will. I don't know. I'm going to stop digging myself a hole here. Finish moving work and unpacking at the new place has been eating my time like Cookie Monster munching. Yeah, that is. I've got a couple of friends that are moving into new homes, and that's something I just never want to do. I mean, unless I win the lottery and I could pay for somebody, moving on an entire house was challenging when it was just the wife and I moving from an apartment to here. Now you got an entire household and 60. Yeah, no, that's going to be nuts. Armando says, yes, he was here talking about that 8K. It needs to climb. So I think you're looking at buying opportunities, Armando. I'll be honest with you. I think if a 9.8 it's closing for 30 plus, and you start to see those 9.8s close for 30 plus regularly. Now we're talking a book. There's only like 130. When the Djurvec 9.8 Ultimate Fallout 4, there's like 130 ish on the census. Call me wrong if I am wrong down in the comments, because I'll be the first to accept that if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to do this off the top of my head. I think a couple of about 130, 135 or something like that, not counting the signed copies. So the book isn't going to sell often. It's not going to sell several copies a week, right? But if you start to see regular sales of over $30,000 and you're seeing 9.6s still being offered for sub 10, if you've got it and you believe in it, buy what you love and love what you buy, because that seems like a opportunity there. Case in point, ASM 300. Look at what the 9.8s did for a hot minute, and then when people got priced out of 9.8s, where did they go? They went to 9.6s. You get priced out of 9.6s, where did they go? 9.4s. You get priced out of 9.4s, go to 9.2s. Ipso facto, whatever you want to throw at it as far as voila, that's kind of like the game that a lot of us do when we are priced out of certain grades. We start going just underneath that. I'm a 9.4 fan personally. It is near mint after all. That is right. He is correct. It's inappropriate to make a dad joke if it's not a dad. It's just a faux pas. Yeah, that is correct. I'm a 5.0 slab guy, CFAB. Good to see you, CFAB. Long time no see, man. Thanks for being here. I'm going to add the second and third print of UF4 to my set. They did a third print? The Pacelli. Are you talking about the... Yeah, you're talking about the white Pacelli variant. That's the variant of the second print. Yeah, I don't know if they did a third print, but the Pacelli all white one where he's pulling the mask off, that's the variant, the Sarah Pacelli variant to the second print. That's a good one to have. That's also a really good one to have in really high grade, because all white cover and Marvel covers. Yeah, let's be honest. Marvel covers are not durable. It seems if you don't submit them right, CGC has a good chance of not labeling it correctly. That is correct. They do say in fine print when you submit books, submit them in the order that you have them listed in the invoice. And I think that's where a lot of people run into labeling issues, is if you don't submit them in the order that the invoice is printed. Yeah. Now, granted, a lot of us are like, come on, you can't tell the difference between this book and that book. Well, let's be honest. How many people are working in that facility that aren't diehard comic fans that are there to have a job and have a good career? Probably a lot of them. There are probably a lot of them that can't tell the difference between a first print and a second print of some books. That's probably an honest mistake that happens. That's why CGC asks, and I'm sure CBCS probably asks the same thing, submit the books physically in the order that they're put on the invoice. That's right. It's right because they're trying to reduce human error. Human error is something we're always going to have to fight, right? Ryan Adams, thanks for being in the chat. Do you recommend to remove all stickers off bags in case that? Yes, yes. Anytime you go to pull a bag or pull a book out of a bag, make sure the tape's removed. Some people fold it over and attach it to the front. That's, I mean, it's personal preference, but I make sure that there are no stickers. There's nothing when they're going to CGC or going to the pressers and cleaners. I actually go as far as to pull out brand new bags and boards to go to the pressers and cleaners. Whoever's pressing and cleaning it, brand new bags and boards. Why? Because sometimes we forget that as collectors, when we're pulling our books in and out of the boxes and we're reading them or we're admiring them or we're moving them around, if you're opening and closing that bag, debris could fall in there. And if debris falls in there and you ship it, you can cause an indentation in that book that a presser's not going to be able to get out. You can potentially cause damage. So you're looking to set the bar high when you're packing and shipping and having books getting cleaned and pressed and graded. So which that brings up a really good point, an announcement I'm going to make. I'm knuckling down and I'm sitting down, and once I can figure out, put the iPhone on airplane mode so when somebody calls you, it doesn't interrupt the recording, Andy, put the iPhone on airplane mode. I'm going to be dropping my piece on how to pack and ship comics on my process. And I'm really interested in sharing that. Because more importantly, I'm really interested on how people feel or what their opinions are on my process, because the reviews are coming back pretty strongly and pretty good from the Whatnot sales and the Whatnot avenues and the giveaways that we've done, that the packing and shipping process is working and people are getting good quality books in the grade that we're sending them out as it's holding. So I'm going to be doing my piece on that coming up soon. So thank you for that comment, Ryan, because that brings that up for that announcement. That would be interesting to see. It would. How do you get a good price on a sled? You have to toboggan. Oh, you have to bargain. Oh God, stuck in Memphis. Mishu Seaman says stuck in Memphis. What's stuck in Memphis? What is up, Mark? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I got over 5,000 comics, not one slab. See, that's okay. Some people only collect raw books and only read books. There's no wrong way to collecting. I like to collect slab graded copies of the books that I am buying and reading. Ultimate Fallout 4, I'm still looking for basically a beater reader copy, but until then, the trade paperback's fine for me. It's killing me having to build and move at the same time. Oh God, yeah, that's gonna be crazy, man. I wish I could pull the trigger just too much. Yeah, that's I'm not. Yeah, there's no way I'm spending $8,000 to $10,000 on a single book right now. I mean, we kind of have a cap, and if you guys have noticed and you guys watched the channel over several years, you kind of know where that cap is, and it's definitely nowhere near $7,000 to $8,000. That's not unless we win the lottery or something like that. I need the second print, but can't pull the. You can pull the trigger on that. Yeah, absolutely. Part of the idea of collecting is you try to make that collecting ladder work for you. Double boarded when sending in myself. Yes, that is true. Double boarded is a thing. My name is pronounced as if you were saying, I'm a do what? I'm a do you? I'm a do you. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I'm a do you. Insert puns, please. I'm a do you. Good to see you. I really appreciate you being here. Sorry for the mispronunciation of your name. I am terrible with names, and a lot of people like to bust my chops about that. Dude, your process is top notch, Josh said. Yeah, I definitely want to share that for everybody to see and get some people's opinions. What's your opinion on bags that don't require tape? I don't like them, Tyler. I don't like them at all. It's a convenient thing, but more often than not, the ones that have the self-sealing on the back, they're too thin. They burst at the seams a lot of times, and that adhesive doesn't stand up to the test of time, much like Scotch tape does or painter's tape. I know that a lot of people ship those new production stuff in there, and that's fine for shipping. But once I get it into my hands, I'm putting it into a higher quality, thicker bag. I'm just lucky I bought mine when it came out. There you go. You paid $4.99 for your 1 in 25. If you think about that, it's less than 10 years ago, and that book is already in that high of a grade, that high of a price. That is nuts. I'm a do. Good to see you. Yes. Do you add the U to the end, or is it just I'm a do? Oh, yeah, the U's silent, I bet. I'm a do. Thanks for being here, man. Please consider hitting subscribe and joining us on this comic collecting adventure and journey where we're live on Monday nights, Tuesday nights at Simpleman's Comics News Weekly over on the Simpleman's Comics News channel. We produce that show. And then Wednesday here, new comic book day. And then we try to drop edited content. I'm trying to still get into the flow of dropping edited content on Thursdays. And then getting ready for the Whatnot auctions on Fridays. We had to cancel last Friday because honestly, I did not get home with anywhere near enough time to set and prep and do that. And I apologize because I missed out. My Saturday was, my Friday night and Saturday was, I'm a little sad that I didn't make it last Friday. So I'm going to try to make sure that that happens this week. We've got a stack of books sitting behind me, ready to load up on the app. We just got to get them transferred to Mylar bags and full backer boards for the auction, because when you guys are over on Whatnot and you guys are down in the Comic Dojo with ComicManAndy, your books get shipped in Mylars and full backer boards while the supplies last, because they have been really incredibly difficult to find. I gotta admit, they're incredibly difficult to find. I think full backer boards are $60, $70 right now for a package. And we bought everything we could find at standard pricing not too long ago. Amadou, yes, thanks again for being here. Ghost Lotus, good to see you. Andy, when you on one drunken chat and changed my life, my mom is sick. I was able to provide many things for her due to Whatnot. I deeply appreciate you. You have helped my family. Ghost Lotus, thanks for being here, man. And Whatnot has been a game changer for many people. I take no credit, though. You get all the credit for taking action and making positive change in your life and making improvements where you can make improvements for your family. I'm just a guy down here talking about comic books, so I appreciate the comment. Thanks for being here, man. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do, and come consider hanging out on all of our live shows. Said it perfectly. Yes, that's what we're working to continue doing. We're just about wrapping up for the night and getting ready to head over to D-Run Comics channel. Come on, Mama dropped it in the chat earlier. If she can drop it again, that would be great. Tyler says, oh man, I didn't know about that. Got to get regular bags then. What tape do you use? You guys are going to laugh, but literally, seriously, this is ever since I was a kid, magic Scotch tape. That's it. Easy to find, affordable. Oftentimes it holds together better when you're trying to peel it off, because you're going to be peeling this off of bags and boards. This stands up much better over time. Don't think cheap when you store comic books. Think affordable in your budget and think quality when you store comic books. That's another video that we should be doing too, because all too often I stumble into collections that has literally the cheapest tape possibly known to man. And the reason why it's cheap is they use subpar adhesive that is too sticky and rips the plastic. And when you start ripping the plastic, you start bending books. That's a whole thing. But yes, I prefer, honestly, magic Scotch tape. We use painter's tape where need be at times. And that's going to be I'm going to be going over all of this on that packing and shipping video that I do, actually. So we'll be talking about that. So stay tuned on the channel for that to drop coming up soon. Ghost Lotus, yes, no, thank you for being here and appreciate your support. D-Run Comics, there's his link. Be sure to pop over there here really soon for his CGC unboxing coming up next. Flash by Night Comics, feeling the love. Absolutely, Flash. Thank you for being here. Come on, Mama says you got it. Michael Gallant, good night, guys. Yes, that card looks nice, but the muffler seems exhausted. Oof. Wolf, you had a hard time starting that one up, didn't you? Ryan House said, what is up, man? Really quick 2-minute review of the books, and we'll start with the I'm gonna get him mixed up here. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #5 came in at a 9.8. Ahsoka and Anakin cover. I can't for the life of me think of how many other Ahsoka and Anakin covers there are. The incentive variant for Clone Wars #1 is the only one I can think of. So how many of these really are there? This is a great cover to have in high grade for the personal collection. And you know me, when I submit one, I'm usually trying to submit 2 if I have them, if I'm buying them at cover price, to try and make 9.8 for that collection. Then once again, Darth Vader #3, one of my favorite books, and I'm so pumped that this came back 9.8 because these books are getting really tough to find in 9.8 raw condition. And that again to the collection. Then the Star Wars 68 that we got from Uncle Skep came back a 7.0. They hit it really hard for a stain. There's still some pressable defects. JP made a really good point, though. CPRing this book might not get it a bump simply because of the stain. And you guys know they hit, as we talked about, they hit books hard for the stain. We've got the facsimile reprint of Ultimate Fallout 4, the Djurvek art here, the Virgin from Wonder World Comics and Sailfish Comics. Once again, thank you, Dennis, for this. Happy to have not only one, but 2 of those in the PC right now. And then because I feel like this is an incredibly undervalued book for any Miles collector, this is where they should be picking this up while they're cheap. If you want this for your Miles collection, grab these off of some online shop that only wants $30 or $40 or something. Grab them while they're affordable before you guys know, like if all these other Miles books are going that high in price, where are people going to start moving in the trend? They're going to start moving to affordable copies. Last CGC or last CB, last sale of this on recorded on GPA was like $38. We actually have that and more into it to do it ourselves, but happy to had a copy of that and an additional to the PC. And then the big heavy hitters of the night was the second print from Wink Inc. Came back at 9.6. We're really happy with that because both Wink Inc. and I felt like we didn't want to oversell ourselves, but I felt like it could land 9.6. And Wink is like, if that's what you're feeling, he's like, I'm thinking 9.4 just in case, because no seller wants to oversell and then under deliver, right? It landed in a 9.6 appropriately. That's where I was hoping it was going to land. And then if I've got the right copy, yes, here we go, the right copy. The first print came back at 9.2. The Ninth Wonder and I both feel like that this book has sharp corners, has a sharp spine, has no color rub all over it. The only thing it has is that polybag indentation on the back. It still came back even after being pressed. So let's try again at some point. That's new comic book. No, that's not Wednesday. Oh my God, Andy. This is Modern Comic Mondays. We did a quick CGC unboxing and then we rambled for an hour. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Painter's tape on Mylar or Bob Bags is the best. Yes. Good night, Steven. Thanks for being here. Great info. Honestly, it means a lot. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Have to ask. Yes, we are going to go to Grand Rapids Comic Con next weekend. We are going, not this weekend, but the weekend after. We're going to try unless something comes up. Probably do a one-day Saturday thing, or maybe if I can go on Friday, that might be nice, but I didn't think to ask for the day off, so I probably won't be able to go. But Saturday for sure we'll be going. Good stuff, Hot Zone. See you next time. Yes, thanks again for being here, everybody. And you know, this connective tissue that is comic books is fantastic, right? But the most fantastic thing each and every day are each and every one of you out supporting the local comic book community. Local? We're not local, we're distant, but supporting the comic book community here on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatnot. It just let that beat build, as Uncle Mel says, right? So you guys know how I'm going to end this. I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side for the next one. But remember, the most important part all day, every day, be original and take care of each other. And have a great night, everybody.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.
Switch to targeting computer.
I love gold.
Stay on target.
I love gold.
Stay on target.
I love gold.